Hi guys. In this video, I will show you very quickly one way to secure your backend from abuse. So potentially, we're talking about Flutterflow and Firebase here. But that being said, um, Firebase is a pay-as-you-go, has a pay-as-you-go pricing, as you know. So if people are able to send a lot of requests to your backend, to your Firebase or Firestore project, this could potentially lead to really, really huge costs, and you definitely want to avoid that. So perhaps you are thinking, okay, I have my app, and my app sends like whatever, on average, 100 requests per day per user to my backend, and that's okay. That's not that much costs, and even if users were trying to abuse my app by pressing a button like a lot, it would still not be that much. But the thing is, um, don't expect your users to use your app as intended. So, for example, they can potentially run your app and then uh, go to open the DevTools like this, Shift, Control, and J, and then they can potentially see the API requests you're making, and they can extract the headers and tokens, at least potentially, and they can could use them to, for example, build an own script and just keep spamming your Firebase account, your Firebase project with those requests. And like this, you will have exploding costs, and well, you definitely want to avoid that, and you definitely want to be uh, well, secure against something like this. So, in this video, I will show you one way to achieve this. So, what I'm talking about is Appcheck. So, what Appcheck does, it is basically it attests that the requests that are made are being sent from your app. So, if a user would take your So if a user would try to do the thing I just described, this would not count as an attested request, and therefore Firebase would say, no, we are not answering to that request, so you would be secure against that. Of course, there are still ways to abuse your backend, but this is a very important step you should definitely make. So how can you do this? I just put out a very quick small, simple project for you to show you how Appcheck is working. So what this does is it's just a button, and when I click it, I'm creating a new document and adding a random integer to it. Very simple. Show you how it works. So right now it's empty. I click on the button, and now we have this content in here. So how to enable check. First, go to your project, settings, Firebase. Look, of course, you should have your Firebase project connected and enable Appcheck here. So the next thing you want to do is you can just open this guide on Flutterflow to see how to do it, Firebase. And you want to click on this link. In this video, I will show you how you can do it for the web. Well, the principle is the same, but um, depending on whether you're using web or Android or iOS, you're going to use different attestation providers. So for this one, as said, I'm going to show it for the web, and for this, it's going to be reCAPTCHA. So click this one and choose your project. For me, it's this one. Activate reCAPTCHA. Might take a while. So now click on first steps. So what's happening now is you're creating a key, and this key is acting as you're going to enter that key in your Firebase project and in your Flutterflow project, and like this, it will know where the request is coming from. So we'll just test key here. As said, I'm going to show it for web, so choose web here. This one's important. You need to enable uh, the domain you are hosting your app on. So usually that's deployment, this one. But perhaps you are using a custom domain, then it's this one. So um, enter the domain, remove HTTPS. Perhaps you are hosting it on different domains than at all the domains you're hosting it on here, because it's going to look where the request is coming from, and if it's coming from, it's only being allowed if it's coming from this domain. So that's important. Otherwise, your request will be blocked. So you can choose some more things here, but for this case, it's not necessary. So just click create key. So now copy this ID and go to your Firebase project again, develop and check. Start. So you're seeing your connected apps here. Once again, just for web here. So click on register web and put it in reCAPTCHA Enterprise. By the way, reCAPTCHA Enterprise is free for up to I think 10,000 attestations per month. For my case, it's more than enough. If you're building like a social media app or something like that with a lot of users, then there might occur some costs. But if you're building a B2B software or something like that with not that many users, it will actually be not very expensive or even free. So well, most of the most of the time it's probably going to be free. And one attestation, what's an attestation? Well, when you can set how long your token will be available here, how often it will be refreshed. So depending on how often your users are using your app, and if the token is no longer valid, it needs to be revalidated, and this revalidation is the attestation. So the token can be validated up to 10,000 times per month, and it will still be free. And but note that this is not like per user, but in general. But still, so and the often if you choose like validation every whatever 10 minutes, um, then if the user is 11 minutes on your app, it will be validated 2 times. And the more often you validate the token or revalidate the token, the more secure it will be. But of course, you're going to have more attestations, which will then be more expensive. So I think you should not choose more than a few hours, but you can do it as you want. So save. So now it's being registered. What's happening now is the Appcheck is now checking and monitoring whether the requests are valid or not valid. But actually, they will still every request will still be able to reach a backend, so it will not be denied. And in order to deny it, because we don't want other people that are not using our app to be able to um, send requests to our backend, we will need to enforce it. So click on enforce here. Same for the other services you're using. For me, it's Firestore and storage. Enforce. So Now it's enforced, and we can make a quick test. By the way, it might take a few minutes until the enforcement is set, but I will quickly test it if it's already in place. So you can open the developer tools with Shift, Control J, and now we will hopefully get an error which says that we don't have the permission to make that backend request. So we click the button, and we're getting this error, which is what we wanted. So now it's being blocked. So we're trying to reach the backend, but it's being blocked, which is what we wanted in this case. So why is it being blocked? Well, because we set um, our domains, enable domains when we created the key was, let me see, it was this one, tutortech.flutterflow.app, but we are now testing it. So we're using, it's actually another domain, so it's being blocked from this one. So, what to do next? Go back to check, Firebase Appcheck. So now we also need to put the keys here. So as I said, you need to put it into Firebase, and you need to put it here. So put it in there, and now if you now deploy, so now you need to go to web deployment, deploy it, and the live website should work now, because the live website is the tutortech.flutterflow.app domain which we registered before. But the testing will still not work because it's still the wrong domain. And the thing is, in order to make the testing work, so you can test and run your app, you can simply, you don't need to register some domain there, but you can simply just add a debug token, and I will show you how to do that too. So perhaps let me just publish it, and I will show you that it now works in in the live version. Okay, doesn't work now for some reason, but that's another another thing. I just took out some project from a few years ago to show this now, so perhaps there are some other problems there. But nevertheless, I will quickly show you how to set up um, the debug token here, and generate token, invoke the token, generate it, and it will only be shown once. So copy it, save to Appcheck, paste it here. Now reload, and now hopefully we should be able to make requests again, because now it delete that entry again, so we can more easily see if it's working. So I had that problem before. You need to end the test session and create a new test session. Then it will work. Then let's quickly do this. So I've just opened a new test session. Okay. And we are not getting any error. And there's a new document added. So that's how you enable Appcheck for your app. I hope you liked it, and see you next time.